So how do you solve the problem of RAG for non-English language? So as you can see, this is like a French PDF, and this has got some technical details. As you can see, this is the name of the company. Then we have the specifications here, and in this case, somebody is going to ask the question, and your RAG should be able to answer that accurately. So the problem with non-English language is that if you use the normal approach, so if I take you to my vector uh, my flow here, and let me just hide this. So one of the standard approaches that you will just take the file, which I'm doing here, and then you give it to your Pinecone vector store. For the embedding, this is where the problem comes. So when you go to the embedding, you get very limited options. By default, you get only these 2 or 3 options here. Maybe you can get more. I mean, you can get multilingual E5 model from Microsoft and all, but still it will not work. The reason is that when it is a non-English language and you create embeddings, so this model, text3 small or large, they create embeddings, the dimension is different, and the semantic coherence of the content is always lost. So if I take you to my Pinecone, you can see that I have these different indexes, but the index that I'm using here is basically this French Anitan, and you can see that my dimensions are 300 here, and I have the data inside this thing. So I have some data here. If I show you the actual file, this is my actual file here. So this file is saved in the vector database. But how did I do that? So if I talk to you about the process, let me just open this file. So the difference why this RAG is working fine is primarily because of 2 things. Number one, I'm using NLTK, and number two, I'm using SpaCy. These 2 things are required. So what I'm doing here is basically, let me just take you here. So this is interesting. So I'm downloading the French tokenizer. This is the thing which you need to understand. If your language is not English, it is French or German or Latin or Spanish, whatever that is, you will have to come to NLTK and start using that. So that is how it works. Now if I take you back to my flow here, let's go to the flow, and where is my flow? Okay, so it is here, and I can go here, and for the sake of simplicity, let me just ask the same question. So I'm gonna put the same question here, and it's gonna work. The reason it's working is simple, because we are using the right tokenizer, and the dimensions of the vectors cannot be like the standard one, 1536. So this is the answer that I'm getting, but the actual answer that I'm getting from the vector database is here. This is pretty big, and you can see the name of the file. If you see the source, I'm getting this as my file name here. So this is verifying that we are taking the information from the right source. So this is how I solve the problem. If I talk about the query part, and so this is my query file which I'm using to pull the data for the questions. Nothing specific or unusual about this, but still you can see that I'm again using NLP here, and my embeddings are being used by using the tokenizer from this SpaCy. So this is how it works. Thank you so much.